Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli with Little Blue, and yep, that's right. The Mandalorian marathon has begun. We of course, with season 2 coming pretty soon, right around the corner, whatever, And as this marathon goes on, almost leading up to the Mandalorian marathon, and with that Muppet Star Wars 3, but. Anyway, so of course we are starting off with Chapter 1, as it is. Chapter 1, The Mandalorian. And basically, this episode is just how it all started.
Exactly. Dave Filoni directed. And
Yeah, good thing he directed the first episode.
the absolute best opening scene of
I know.
any show. I'll say that forever.
Hear a Little Blue out.
Yeah, absolutely. He's on the planet. He's looking for his bounty. Walks into the cantina, and the two guys trying to rough him up, and he breaks one of their arms and takes him out of commission. The other guy tries to get away.
Yep.
Puts the cable out, grabs him, like the lasso of the old cowboys, pulls him back. The guy shoots at him, it ricochets off his armor, shoots the door closes, cuts him in half.
Yeah.
And he walks up to his bounty, and the guy's trying to con his way out of it. And he looks at him and he says, "I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold."
Yeah, that's
absolutely the coolest line. And when those doors open, when he first comes into that cantina, it's just like, you're hearing the music for the Mandalorian, but in your head you're hearing the old Clint Eastwood, which is just and even you remember this, George Lucas even said that when he created Boba Fett, the bounty, that look across his visor, that represents the brim of a hat. That is like in the line eyesight of the brim of a hat coming down. And any Clint Eastwood movie you see, his brim is down to here, and you're getting this much of the face. So
I see, yeah.
A lot of it is, it really represents, and it's kind of a new spin on the Old West.
Yep. Star Wars version of the Old West.
And that's the appeal for me with The Mandalorian. It is Star Wars, but it is definitely, it's just bare bones. It's rough, it's gruff, it's, outlaw stuff, totally.
Yep, exactly. And the rest of the episode was like, because the speeder and such, refuses to take the one that's fancy and clean with brand new, the droid.
Exactly.
He'd rather take one that's kind of half broken or just something,
Exactly. And when you see Mando's ship, the Razor Crest,
oh yeah,
it's like the first time I saw it, I'm like, are you kidding me? That's his ship? Because you're looking for, you're thinking Slave One.
Well, I didn't have that reaction.
Slave One is one of the coolest Star Wars ships ever.
Yeah, but not every Boba Fett is a bounty hunter, but Mandalorians would have their own ships.
Right. Well, and here you go. And just hang on a second. Hang on. I'm just jumping out of frame for a minute, just to prove my point. So this is the Razor.
That's the first
Crest.
time this has happened.
This is Mando's ship. Okay. And if you look, the more you look at it, the more you see it in action, the cooler it gets.
Exactly.
It is literally like it just grows on you.
Yeah.
Grows on you.
Exactly.
Totally.
So, and it did.
It did.
It did to us and to everybody else. So.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I remember Life Day was mentioned.
Life Day was mentioned. And,
how did you? I forget. How did you react to that when you heard that?
I chuckled because I knew that Jon Favreau had put that in there because he's always been an advocate to bring that Star Wars holiday special back.
Probably. Well, he probably would bring the Life Day or something like that, in a different way than how it originally was with the Star Wars holiday special.
Let's hope and pray to the Force that George Lucas decides to never bring that back out again.
Well,
I don't know. I think every fan should see it at least once. I've seen it once.
Well, duh, it's out online.
Yeah, I know.
I know. Search for it in YouTube, etc. But I think, and as I said, probably Jon Favreau he would, because it seems like, he wants to have, like, because it seems that, well, it is official. Life Day is in canon. So basically, like, Life Day and now being part canon, but different and such than how it was in the original, as I said.
Exactly.
So Jon Favreau probably, because obviously Jon Favreau, and I remember hearing that maybe Jon Favreau has expressed interest in doing another holiday special and such. I think he'd know how to do. Knowing Jon Favreau, he'll know how to do it. So because he knows his Star Wars, Dave Filoni knows his Star Wars. So
So
they know how to do Star Wars.
Exactly. So we're ramping up to, of course, season 2 of The Mandalorian, which comes out at the end of October.
Yeah.
And we have yet to get a trailer.
Yeah.
As of this recording, we have yet to get a trailer.
Well, yeah, and as we're recording this, but we're starting Mandalorian marathon a bit early. So even though, because as you're watching this, it's out in October. So
Yeah.
But here's the thing, because of episode 1, because like, remember that one part with the monkey lizard being roasted?
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of funny, but also kind of dark. It's mostly dark.
Yeah.
And especially that one that's alive and he's watching probably his friend or whoever it is being roasted,
Yeah. It's almost pitiful, but I hated that character in
I had no problem with him.
Return of the Jedi. He was annoying.
I mean, I like the species for one thing.
Salacious Crumb.
Yeah. Salacious Crumb.
What a name. Leave it to George Lucas to come up with some of the most bizarre names.
Well, no, like the guys like Phil Tippett and the others, they had to figure out a name and such, and they came to George after, because it's even in the Star Wars Blu-ray, the 2012 release, and in the bonus features they talk about and such, and they had a couple of drinks of beer and like just. You have to check it out. Just I know there's a clip of it on YouTube. Go check it out. But another thing is that Carl Weathers, for example, he was good.
Carl Weathers is excellent.
And it's awesome that, him, a.k.a. Apollo Creed, in Star Wars.
And I think he's actually, if memory serves, he's actually directing an episode in this season.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. In season 2, for season 2 coming up.
And episode 2 of season 2 is being directed by Jon Favreau himself, as I understand it.
Episode 2?
He specifically requested that. And this came out a year ago. I mean, almost a year.
Yeah, I heard this, and that's saying that there's a specific episode he wants to direct.
Yeah, and that came out.
And if that's what
just at the beginning of the series.
Well, this episode must be something, and clearly Jon Favreau, he wants to be in control of that. So
sure.
And and so also in continuing episode 1, because what's his face? What's his face? I have spoken. I forget. His name.
I know you were talking about.
I forget his name already. Crap.
Yeah, and he used to live in Charleston too.
Nick Nolte. But I'm talking about the character's name.
Yeah. The character.
Well, it was awesome for Nick Nolte to finally be in Star Wars.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
His character's name. I know his character's name. This is terrible.
Yeah.
It's not revealed until episode 7.
But even though
season 1.
Yeah, but even though his name is still listed in the credits, the character's name.
Sure.
And also because with the appearance of IG-11, and we even see the lizard creatures, the same species of Bosk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was really cool. And hey, let's wait and see, because there's no doubt about that Bosk could appear in Mandalorian.
Oh, there's a lot. I still say that...
say the bounty hunters, along with Bosk, who appeared in Empire, could appear in the Mandalorian.
I was just getting ready to say, I think it's a very good possibility that IG-88 will make an appearance. And when he does, Mando's going to be taking him back and saying, IG-11? Or he's going to think it's him.
But he'll realize, of course, he'll find out it's the wrong droid.
He'll realize, and he's going to probably find out the hard way that it's not, IG-11.
Yeah, but IG-11 in this first episode, he was good,
Yeah, he was good. He was still a bounty hunter.
But that was when later on in the show, because he was reprogrammed.
He was reprogrammed.
Yep, and of course the appearance of the child. We can't forget about talking about the child.
No, and I remember how.
I mean, I didn't expect it either.
No, it was total shock and surprise.
Nobody did. Not even because even when it was like a Star Wars Celebration 2019 that. The child never mentioned, and everybody thought, because we didn't know this We had no idea this was going to happen or that this existed. And of course, it was surprised when episode 1 finally did come out. So
when they revealed, in that episode, when they actually reveal the child,
and right at the very end of episode 1,
I remember my reaction as soon as I saw the ears. I thought, oh my gosh, it's a Yoda species. It's the same species as Yoda.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I can't remember my reaction. Maybe I was like, oh, just maybe something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was a pretty cool twist. But, you know, we're hearing all the rumors that this is going to be a clone of Yoda and all that. Let's just wait and see.
No, I mean, I say it's not a clone of Yoda. It's its own character, and it's the species. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I think
it's like we got the appearance. It's like, remember Yaddle in Phantom Menace? Give me a break.
Well, there's clearly a connection with the Caminos.
Yeah, exactly.
The cloners.
You've talked about this
in episode 1.
And this one scientist guy wearing
the doctor that you see
wearing something
wearing glasses when he comes in, and Mando draws his weapon
because Mando didn't expect. It was unexpected.
Look closely on his sleeve, the patch that's on his sleeve.
I need to catch
the same patch that you see on the people on
Camino
on the planet Camino, the water planet from
the Caminos.
Attack of the Clones. And
I think they're called the Caminos.
Yeah, they are. And
some aliens
they kind of remind me of alien grays. Tall, and they've got the big eyes and everything. That's what they remind me, except they're really tall.
Wow.
But they show when you're the key scene is when from Attack of the Clones, when they're showing how these clones learn, and they're sitting at computer terminals, and they've got these headsets on, and you clearly see the sleeve of one of the clone students. That patch is on there, and it's almost the same identical patch. So that is not coincidental. They didn't just grab a uniform or something and put it on this guy. It was done intentionally.
Exactly.
And because they're cloners and they're trying to clone, they want to clone.
Probably want to clone that's it. Clone the child.
Because the child's force sensitive. They know it. Maybe with, and I know J.J. Abrams hates this term, but with a midichlorian count that may be off the charts, even higher than Anakin or Yoda.
As much as I love J.J. Abrams, I'm like, who cares what he thinks about midichlorians? If you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I never got that. It's like, they finally explain how the Force works.
Midichlorian, and another thing is midichlorians are part of the Force.
In the prequel, you can say what you want to about the prequel, but there were some good parts to it, and they finally
we love the prequels.
We explain, and yes, I love Phantom Menace. Sue me.
I do too. Same here, all the way.
But the Jar Jar Binks, he gets a little too carried away on the first.
I don't care.
But that's his character. That's his character. That's his creature. That's his species. That's the way he acts.
And that's how he is,
But they fully explain how the Force works. That it's midichlorians.
And as Qui-Gon. And that scene. Well, I was going to say in that scene where. Yeah, it was that right before they leave to return to Naboo, where young Anakin asks Qui-Gon about midichlorians, and Qui-Gon explains. So,
Qui-Gon, sir, I was wondering. That line kills me.
And he was a kid anyways.
Yeah,
so.
I know. It's like, okay, cut. Let's reshoot that, but he didn't for whatever reason. I just oh well.
Well, once again, he was a kid, but so who could blame him?
Yeah, but anyway, Qui-Gon does a good job of explaining the significance of the midichlorians.
Exactly.
So now you've got the explanation, but here comes episode 7. J.J. Abrams says, we're going to throw all that out. Not going to midichlorians. You're never going to hear midichlorians in Star Wars.
You're only going to hear the Force.
Why? You can tell me we won't see Jar Jar Binks. I'm good with that.
And what? Like and it's like that was never midichlorians was never brought up in the original trilogy because that word did not exist that point.
I mean, it's not a dirty word. I mean, it's not
no.
midichlorians. He said midichlorians. No,
that's a bad word.
It explains how the Force works.
Yes.
So,
and as Qui-Gon explained.
Own it. Embrace it. That's what it is.
And I forget, midichlorians was mentioned in The Mandalorian?
No.
Well, they better.
No, it wasn't. Well, see, that's up to Jon Favreau.
That's up to John and Dave.
And I kind of think they might because
I think especially with Dave Filoni because he must like the prequels as well, and he did say something about about Phantom Menace and the fate of duels. You know, I remember I'd heard that a while ago. I didn't listen to it or anything. I just heard it.
Still to this day, my favorite. You know, I've told you this before.
The Duel of Fates.
My favorite Sith Lord is still Darth Maul. He is my favorite.
Well,
I'm sorry. He is totally bad.
Well, mine is Darth Vader. So.
I know that, and I love Darth Vader too.
And I love Darth Maul too.
But there was just something about Darth Maul, that double-bladed saber, and the look on his face. And he just had this. He had this menacing.
And boy, because of his more of his character and expand like in the Clone Wars and Rebels, you know.
Exactly.
So.
And you know, he could fight, man. He was good. He knew how to use the Force, but I'm really hoping that they do bring midichlorians into it. I really do. Because that was a good explanation. There was no reason to take that out.
There was no reason to take that out.
So,
hey, give it time. Well, that word will probably be mentioned again soon, and maybe hopefully maybe later on in the Mandalorian, as we were explaining.
I mean, I'm just surprised. It's J.J. I'm not going to keep harping on this, but it's like J.J. Abrams decides, no more.
And
you're not going to hear midichlorians, and it's like George Lucas should be going. Tap on the shoulder. Excuse me. We will be using midichlorians. Okay, George. Sorry.
You can't.
Excuse me, Mr. Lucas. I'm sorry.
You cannot ditch that word.
No, it's part of it's part of canon now.
I put it in there, etc.
It's part of canon. George Lucas wrote it. It's canon.
Yes.
It'd be like taking words out of the Bible. You don't take words out of the Bible.
Yeah.
You don't do it.
And yet the thing is, hey, J.J. Abrams has been a Star Wars fan, and he still does that.
Well,
I think he even has a soft spot, I guess, for the prequels. I guess
it may have been a joke. Really, it may have been kind of tongue in cheek for him to say that. It just wasn't written into it, and that's fine. Whatever. What they did.
I mean, even if even when you watch the sequel films, it's no big deal. Just
right. You're
just watching them, enjoying it. Blah blah blah. Even if midi-chlorians aren't said.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, But jumping back to episode 1, still, what do we think of it? And because for it being the first episode, at chapter 1, The Mandalorian, that's what it is. And again, that's how it all started.
On a scale, I'll save you time. On a scale of 1 to 10, the series so far is a 10. Every single.
Even though we haven't reviewed the rest of the episodes yet, we're still giving it a 10.
There's not an episode in The Mandalorian that I don't like. I can't even tell you a least favorite episode.
No, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni know what they're doing. So
yeah, there's not a least favorite episode of mine in that.
I can't really think, but
I mean, I don't even want to think about it, and I don't need to think about it.
I have my favorite. I have my favorite episodes from season 1. So
do I.
Which I know I will mention, of course, and I know you'll mention your favorites. So
yeah, I can tell you that of any of the episodes,
yes,
the opening scene is my favorite.
Of chapter 1, The Mandalorian.
Chapter 1, The Mandalorian. That is my favorite opening. In fact, my favorite opening to any TV series I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. So definitely, you guys let us know about that and what you think of chapter 1, The Mandalorian. Because again, this is how it all started. So
yeah,
the episode started it all, and it nailed it.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
So and hey. The Mandalorian marathon has begun. Only 7 episodes to go. So
only 7 to go.
So, anyways, what were you about to say?
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as I said, 7 more episodes to go. You guys keep looking forward. The next days, from the next day from there on. We hope you enjoyed our review of chapter 1, The Mandalorian, and keep looking forward for the continuing of the Mandalorian marathon. So stay tuned. So with that said, we hope you've enjoyed our review. Again, we hope you've enjoyed our review of chapter 1, the Mandalorian. Any last words?
Normally my sign off is out, but
what is it this time?
I'm going to change it in the spirit
because of the Mandalorian marathon. What?
This is the way.
Nice. No. And I've got an idea for what I'm going to say. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our review of Chapter 1, The Mandalorian. We'll see you guys in the next video / review and continuing with the Mandalorian Marathon. Take care. Peace out. May the Force be with you. And we have spoken.